Sit. Stay. Did you know cats are the second most popular pet in Australia? And some of them can leave the house and do their own thing, which is where they can get up to a lot of mischief. You see, these cute, cuddly felines can also be fierce predators, at least when it comes to Australian wildlife.
They've been responsible for the extinction of over 20 species of native mammal. And that's given Australia the worst record for mammal extinctions in the entire world.
A big reason for that is there are a lot of cats around. In Australia, around 27% of Aussie households have one. That's around 5 million pet cats across the country, which kill about 340 million native animals a year. As for feral cats, they're not helping.
So for every bird or reptile or skink that you see on your doormat, you have to imagine that there's another 4 or 5 animals tucked in the bushes somewhere else that you can't see.
So where did they come from? Well, cats aren't native to Australia. Experts reckon they arrived as pets with the first fleet. And later, even more were introduced to help control populations of rabbits and rodents. The number of cats living and breeding in the wild has been growing, putting animal shelters and rescue centres under the pump.
All the groups are under pressure. They just can't cope with the volume of kittens coming through. And the rescue centres are struggling to cope with the wildlife that's impacted by them.
So who's responsible for all these cats? Well, it's mostly up to local governments to make rules that owners are meant to follow. That can be things like making sure cats are registered, microchipped and desexed, or even limiting how many cats people can have, or where and when they're allowed out, like with nighttime curfews. But some councils struggle to enforce these rules, which is why some people want to see changes in cat laws around Australia.
We'd like to see a change to state and territory overarching laws to make them nationally consistent or harmonised. As a policy, it would save millions of native animal species each year.
If there was a provision for containment in the Cat Act, we would simply make a law which would be similar to dogs, and it simply says your cat must remain on your property at all times.
In some areas, those laws are already in place and making a difference.
It's almost halved the volume of cat attacks that we receive from the public.
We're spending millions of dollars to try and eradicate feral cats from those islands. We know when we remove feral cats, native species bounce back really successfully.
So if you're a proud parent to one of these pets, what can you do?
Cats are fantastic pets, but it's about keeping them contained to your property so they're not impacting on native wildlife.
Cats that are kept indoors live 4 to 5 times longer than cats that are allowed to roam. So if you love your pet, keeping it indoors is a great way to keep it safe.
1 meow for friend, 2 meows for food. Meow! Oh, you're just the smartest kitty in the whole world. See ya.